This is me, and this is Kauai, arguably Hawaii's most stunningly beautiful island.
More than 97% of this place is dedicated to conservation or agriculture.
Which makes the Garden Island one of the most tropical and lush places in the entire world.
But what's shocking is just how many visitors barely see that side of Kauai. And that was almost me.
It's so easy to stay trapped at one of Kauai's overpriced resorts.
Paying $25 for watered down beach drinks.
No, thank you. Where is the Kauai adventure I actually signed up for? We spent an entire week discovering the best adventures here. And we figured out the right way to do it. World-class sea cliffs, tropical wildlife, mountain tubing.
10 out of 10. Great activity. So is Kauai actually worth it? Or should we have just stuck to an island we already knew? Why pick Kauai?
Let's go find out. There's nothing quite like the excitement of getting ready for a beach vacation. That moment when real life fades into the rearview mirror, and you're just thinking about the week ahead. We have landed in Kauai. Sand, snorkeling, and beach chairs. Hopefully no sunburns, but let's be honest, the more light-skinned out of us just accept sunburns as a known cost of doing vacation.
But we really kicked things off with a bang. Right after landing, we went straight to Kalalau Rum Company. It's so cool seeing these old sugar plantation buildings in person. We did a rum tasting, tried the Dole Whip,
started seeing the crazy volume of wild chickens on this island. It was a lot to do right after flying, but honestly, it was a really great activity to welcome ourselves to Kauai.
We even caught Wailua Falls, one of the best waterfalls in Kauai, and probably the one you can see fastest from the airport.
It's the first waterfall we'll add to this waterfall counter down in the corner. We were so excited and fully prepared for the week ahead. We headed for our hotel, but little did we know, that initial excitement wasn't going to hold up forever.
Sup, sup. We are in Hawaii at the beach. We are at Poipu.
I was skeptical we needed an entire week in Kauai, but my wife insisted. We needed it to see all the great things Kauai offers. We started our trip doing what any tourist would do, just booking a resort and hanging out by the beach. And that first day, it definitely delivered. We grabbed some tropical drinks. The sea turtles here are always a welcome surprise. And what's a Hawaii trip without a perfect sunset? But by day 2, we did start to notice some things that didn't fit how we imagined this vacation.
If you're somebody who really just likes to relax on the beach,
And that's your top priority,
Poipu might be for you. But
the realities really started to hit us. The beaches were crowded. Snorkeling meant bumping into people every 5 to 10 feet.
even the sea turtles here were outnumbered 10 to 1 by the crowds.
It was starting to feel like we were wrong to pick Kauai over some other island vacation.
What makes Kauai so special?
Why come here instead of Maui or Oahu?
We could have gone there instead.
Now, we did still have fun. It's impossible to truly mess up a Hawaii vacation. But I couldn't help thinking, should we really have picked this? It was time to get away from the crowds. At this point, we were still blissfully unaware of all the great things to come. But we knew Kauai's North Shore had to be better than what we'd been doing so far. So we drove up there the next day to see what we could find. If we were going to do Kauai right, we figured it probably meant leaving behind the resort chairs. This was the first place we really started to test that theory. And so, after a quick stop at the Musubi truck, love a good spam Musubi, we picked the trail that we heard offers the best views. Some people even backpack 22 miles round trip, just so they can see the entire length of it.
The Kalalau Trail, it is beautiful. There's jungle all around you, and you're also on these high sea cliffs, so you get this amazing view of the Pacific Ocean.
Our 5 miles didn't initially sound that hard. I thought it was going to be pretty easy at the beginning. But as the park officials like to tell people, you shouldn't totally underestimate this trail.
It's relatively steep, and with up to 100% humidity.
People get evacuated all the time for dehydration and heat stroke.
The hike was tough. The humidity was really there. I definitely would recommend water.
But the nice part, the views start rewarding you right away.
And we found 2 more waterfalls.
Ocean views for days.
But we still had to go back into the jungle for the final leg.
Around halfway, we realized it wasn't going to be that easy.
It is really steep out here.
It felt like there was no good choice for footwear. I brought Tevas, but they got caked in mud. My wife brought boots, but those got soaked in all the stream crossings.
By this point, we were soaked, muddy, mildly dehydrated, and it had us even wondering if it was worth the hike.
But sometimes, all that effort is totally worth it.
Woo!
Hanakāpīʻai Beach feels like you walked into a perfectly photoshopped image.
But then it turns out to actually be real.
It might be the prettiest beach I've ever been to in person.
It was just perfect.
The sea cliffs, perfect. The little stream emptying into the ocean, also perfect. The ocean waves breaking against all the volcanic rocks. You get the picture by now. It's the moment I realized maybe Kauai really is the outdoor paradise everyone makes it out to be. Eventually, we made our way back to civilization, and things started to look up.
Man, that hike was brutal. I could really use something refreshing.
We got some shave ice on the way back, and it was the perfect snack after a hot and humid hike.
I got so much shave ice while I was here. It was amazing.
I know ice doesn't seem that exciting, but trust me, this stuff is delicious, and I got it 3 or 4 more times over the course of the trip.
Now, we still weren't sure if Kauai was the best pick for an island vacation, but it was starting to feel like we were figuring it out.
So by now, we'd seen the tourist version of Kauai and some of Kauai's nature, but there were still at least 2 or 3 more completely different versions of this island. But first we hit a minor roadblock the next day.
We're about to go on our most unique activity.
The weather wasn't exactly cooperating. Hawaii is known for sporadic rain, and it's mostly fine, but you wonder at times how it's going to affect your outdoor activities.
We had to get up early. It was pouring rain. We're wondering how cold the water is.
After a quick surfer girl sandwich at Java Kai, we drove up through the pouring rain on our way to go mountain tubing. After Kauai's sugar plantations had mostly closed up, the island had all of these river canals and small tunnels left over. So they did the only logical thing, and they turned them into a river inner tube floating paradise. It looked so much fun that we're honestly surprised it's not more famous than it already is.
Hey, Ryan.
Ooh, that's cold.
Awesome.
But that morning, we weren't really sure what to expect. Were we actually going to enjoy this thing?
Oh yeah, we were.
You want it? Nice.
Whoa.
It's raining. What the hell? Oh, fluttering. Oh my god. You ready?
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Great activity. We loved it.
Is this a waterfall?
I don't know, I'm not going to count it. Overall, mountain tubing was a blast. It's maybe the weirdest and coolest thing I've done on an island vacation. And what's crazy, as we were grabbing lunch afterward in Hanalei Bay, I overheard a bunch of other tourists saying they just stayed indoors all day because of the rain, which is nuts to me because this place just gets so scenic when it's raining. It even brings out the waterfalls right behind Hanalei. Those tourists could have been us, but I was changing the way I looked at Kauai. The rain was just part of the adventure. And after everything we learned about this island, we were ready to try one of our favorite activities one more time. By this point, we were starting to realize Kauai can be stunningly beautiful, but you have to meet it on its own terms. You don't get the most out of this island by treating it like just any other beach resort destination. This just isn't the type of place where the best rewards come from sitting somewhere in a beach chair. Those rewards happen when you go out and find the best things here that nature can give you. So we did. I love snorkeling. Poipu is apparently a great place to snorkel.
But for us, it was just kind of crowded.
It really just depends on the day that you go. For us, snorkeling near Poipu was actually pretty rough, but on the North Shore, it was perfect.
Pu'upo'a Beach feels like a hidden secret. You even have to edge yourself around the side of Hawaii's most expensive hotel to get there. But once you're at the beach, it's like this perfect snorkeling cove with amazing views of Hanalei Bay. And the snorkeling was great.
Between here and Poipu, I really got my snorkeling fix for the trip.
It was a reminder that Kauai is nature at its best, and it just gets better the more you explore it. There was still a surprise near the end that made it feel extra special. After my experience in Poipu, I thought I was about to bump into another snorkeler, but suddenly I realized that's no snorkeler. I was swimming just 2 to 3 inches away from one of Hawaii's famous green sea turtles. For both of us, I think it was the polar opposite experience that first day in Poipu. The turtle wasn't surrounded by a crowd of 60 people. I wasn't surrounded by a crowd of other snorkelers. It felt really surreal until the sea turtle started turning towards me and I panicked to get out of there.
It's important not to mess with the sea turtles here.
But you know, it was like this moment where everything we learned in Kauai had finally come together.
Overall, this has been a great vacation. We loved Kauai.
But somehow, we got through this entire video without talking about one of the most visually stunning parts of Kauai. As for that original question about which Hawaiian island is really the best, I think it's just a really difficult question to answer. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I think if there's one can't miss thing to do in Kauai, I feel like it's pretty obviously gotta be the Na Pali Coast. It might be a little cliche, but Na Pali just delivers on every piece of Kauai. It was really just clearly our favorite highlight from the trip. And of course, it gave us more waterfalls. To top things off, we even got a surprise visit. A pod of dolphins.
This guy really wanted to put on a show for us. Sometimes I wonder if the dolphins here just really enjoy doing tricks for people.
At first, I thought Kauai was just a beach vacation. And it turns out that's the biggest mistake you can make. Kauai is this place where people come together around some of the most perfect landscapes that nature can offer. When we visited the Na Pali Coast,
It felt that much more rewarding because it felt like the capstone for our trip.
Kauai really was a true adventure.
sure, Kauai's beaches are amazing, but so is the hiking, the wildlife, the adventures.
It really is the type of place that the further you go from your hotel, the better the trip gets.
Thanks for coming along with us. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. And if you want to see more trips like this, you can watch another one here if you want to keep exploring.